So let's start with the second part of Python. Now here we are going to discuss Python operator. Now operators are special symbols in Python that carry out arithmetic or logical computation. The value of the operator operates on is called the operand. Like we can see here on your screen that there's operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulus, division, exponentiation, etc. are available, and these are all operators. Now operators are the constructs which can manipulate the value of operands. Consider the expression 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. Now plus is in this is an operand, is an operator, now which helps the two numbers to add. Here 4 and 5 are called operands and plus is called the operator. Now types of operators are: Python language supports the following types of operators like arithmetic operators, comparison, relational operators, assignment operator, logical operators, bitwise operators, membership operators, identity operators. Like that, there are some other operators are there. Now let's try and understand what is GUI. Now GUI is a very important function which is available in the Windows, and Python has followed that also. So Python provides various options for developing graphical user interface, that is GUI. Some important ones are listed here like Tkinter. Tkinter is the Python interface to the TK GUI toolkit shipped along with the Python itself. Similarly, WX Python, this is an open source Python interface for WX Windows, and you can download it from this particular website. JPython is again a Python port for Java, which gives Python scripts seamless access to Java class libraries on the local machine with the help of this website where from you can download it. There are many other interfaces available which can be checked on the net and can be downloaded as per your requirement. Now what is GUI? Graphical user interface. GUI is nothing but a desktop application which helps you to interact with the computer. They are used to perform different tasks in the desktop, laptops and other electronic devices. So GUIs are very common, which are also known as icons, which we can see even in our smartphones. So this is something which is very helpful to interact with the computer. Now GUI apps like text editors are used to create, read, update and delete different types of files. GUI apps like Sudoku, chess and solitaire are games which can help you to play. GUI apps like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge are used to browse through the internet. There are some different types of GUI apps which are available and we can use in our laptops or desktops. And now we are going to see that different types of GUIs which are available, and these are very commonly being used. Now Python numbers. Now Python numbers are something which are very important for any kind of a computation. So number data types store numeric values because the number itself signifies that it is something which is numeric. They are immutable, that means you cannot change it, which means that changing the value of number data type results in a newly allocated object, which means that you cannot, once you have allocated a number to a particular variable, you cannot change it, which is defined as a number or a numeric. Int is the way that you can define it. They are often called just integers or ints, and they are positive or negative whole numbers with no decimal points. In Python, number data types are used to store numeric values. There are 4 different numeric types in Python. Int is one, which is plain integer. This one is pretty standard. Plain integers are just positive or negative whole numbers. Then long integers. Long integers are integers of infinite size. They look just like plain integers except that they are followed by the letter capital L. Then float. It is floating point and real values. Floats represent real numbers but are written with a decimal point or scientific notation. to divide the whole number into fractional parts. Complex number is also available in the Python, and it can be represented by the formula called a plus bj, where a and b are floats and j is a square root of -1, the result of which is an imaginary number. So complex numbers are used not very commonly, but it is possible that if you want, you can use it. Now, variables in Python. Variables are containers where you can store any particular value, and then you can use it as and when you need it. Unlike other programming languages, Python has no command for declaring a variable. A variable is created the moment you first assign it. So the moment you assign it, that means it gets created, and then you can use it in future. Variables are nothing but reserved memory locations to store values. This means that when you create a variable, you reserve that particular space for that memory that is reserved. Now you can only use that particular memory for that particular number. Based on the data type of a variable, the interpreter allocates memory and decides what can be stored in the reserved memory. Therefore, by assigning different data types to variables, you can store integers, decimals, or characters in these variables. So these are the types of variables which are available, which are possible. Python list. Now this is another type of variable which is possible, which is available in Python, and this list is a very, very versatile data type available in Python, which can be written as a list of comma separated values, CSV. Between square brackets, important thing about a list is that items in a list need not be of the same type. That means it's a mixture of maybe numeric and then strings, or maybe some other character, whatever you want. So there is no fixed format for that. Creating a list is as simple as putting different comma separated values between square brackets. For example, like this, list 1 is square bracket, then within quotes you have written physics, then chemistry, then maybe a number 1997, then 2000, and like that. Then in the second list you have only numbers like 1 2 3, and here we are not having any quote. Then list 3 is again like double quotes, because here this is a string, so you can write single quote or double quote. Either way you can use the string. Then Python tuples. Tuple is another very useful variable, and a tuple is another sequence data type that is similar to the list. A tuple consists of a number of values separated by commas. Unlike list, however, tuples are enclosed with parentheses. Right? So the main difference between lists and tuples are that lists are enclosed in brackets. First the small bracket, and within that the square bracket, and their elements and size can be changed. Like in list we cannot change it, but in tuples we can change it. While tuples are enclosed in parentheses and cannot be it can be updated, and tuples can be thought of as read only lists. So for example, you can see that tuple is written like this: ABCD within quotes, then 786, then 2.23, John within again quotes again, and 70.2. Then a tiny tuple, and that name you can give like this, and 1 2 3, then comma John, and when you print it, you can see that how this will appear. Print tuple 0, that means you can only print the first character. Then 1 2 3 you can write, or you can print tuple 2, that is only second or third element, because it starts with 0 0 1 2 3, and then they print tiny tuple multiplied by 2, that means prints list 2 times. If it is written like this, it will print 2 times. And print tuple plus tiny tuple prints concatenated list. So that is how this tuple can be used. Now this whatever we have written in the earlier slide, the output of that will be something like this, which you can compare. So ABCD 786, then ABCD again. So again, all those characters which we have written in the previous slide are appearing as an output. Now dictionary is another very important or useful in fact variable. Python's dictionaries are kind of hash table type. They work like associative arrays or hash found in Perl and consist of key values pairs. A dictionary key can be almost any Python type but are usually numbers or strings. Values, on the other hand, can be any arbitrary Python object. So dictionaries are enclosed with the curly braces. Now earlier we have seen a small bracket, then kept square brackets. Now we are using curly brackets, and values can be assigned and accessed using square brackets. For example, now this is the way you can write, like dictionary is equal to curly brackets, dic1, this is 1, dic2, this is 2, and like that you can write it. It is very simple, just you can understand it. Once you understand, you can easily use it. Likewise, a tiny dict, name, John, code, 6734, DEPT, department, sales, etc. And when you print, again you will see in the similar fashion as we have seen in the case of tuple, it prints whatever you want to print. Only that particular character or number of characters will be printed. Now, Python function. Python function is again a very important function available in Python. It is a block of organized reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. Functions provide better modularity for your application and a high degree of code reusing. That means you can use it as many times as you want it. Python function in any programming language is a sequence of statements in a certain order. Given a name, when called, those statements are executed. So we don't have to write the code again and again for each type of data that we want to apply to, and this is called code reusability. That is the purpose of function, because you can use it as and when you feel like, as many number of times you want to use it, you can use it. User defined functions in Python. Now this is again a very useful property of the Python function. A function is a block of instructions that performs an action and once defined can be reused. Functions make code more modular, allowing the coder to use the same code over and over again. Python has a number of built-in functions that are common, like print, which will print an object to the terminal. Integer, which will convert a string or number data type to an integer data type. So you can convert that. That is again a very good facility available in Python. Len, that means length you want to check, which returns the length of an object. And function names include parentheses and may include parameters. Now, advantages of user defined functions in Python is, like, the Python function help divide a program into modules. Now that is very helpful and very easy for the programmer to write the complicated programs. This makes the code easier to manage also. Debug as in when it is required, and scale. You can scale up or scale down depending on your requirement. It implements code reuse. So you can reuse the code. Once you have written, you can call it and reuse it. Every time you need to execute a sequence of statements, all you need to do is to call that particular function. So you need not write all over again. You simply call that and use it there. This Python function allows us to change functionality easily, and different programmers can work on different functions. Now this is something which is a very helpful point. If you have a team of people who are working on a project, you can divide your work and distribute it to different programmers, and they can work. And then the functions can be created and they can be used as many times or as and when they feel like they can use it. So this completes the second part of the Python, where we learnt about so many functions or list, tuples, etc., which is very helpful. So thank you. We'll now move on to the third part.